So from here, take a breath in, all the way out, and roll towards me, sink into table.
Oh.
That went way better than your upper back.
That was crazy.
All the way out. Good, good, good. There we go. Okay. You have a great reaction. I love that. Good, good. Okay. What did you think of those?
That was nice.
I'm glad you think so. Hi, Emily.
Hi.
Good to meet you today.
Nice to meet you too.
All right. Emily is both a dancer and international student from Italy, and with some back pain that she's dealing with. So I'm going to let her kind of talk about it a little bit. Emily?
So I grew up with scoliosis.
Okay.
I've danced my whole life, so like I've always been told that helped a little bit, but I still have to do like physiotherapy when I was like younger. I think I did it for like a while.
Okay.
And it tilts on the right, and you can tell.
Okay.
Like, and yeah.
That's okay. So you've been managing it back home, right? Like back in Italy, you were able to manage it through physiotherapy. Love the way you say that, by the way, through physiotherapy. And have you seen a chiropractor for it before, or?
A couple times, but just because like dancing a lot, I have a lot of pain in everything.
Yeah.
And so I've been cracked a little bit, but like I haven't been to a chiro in a long time because I've been in Canada for the past 3 years, and understanding how to use your insurance in Canada as an international student is very hard.
Okay.
So I just get overwhelmed when I don't do it.
All right. So you're a student right now.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So as a student, just like as an aside, we don't really talk about this on the channel, but whatever. You do have access to insurance
kind
to
of
a degree. Yeah. Not kind of. You should through student care, I believe.
Yes.
If you literally need help walking through that, I'll sit down and walk through that with you. Okay, because I know student care can be a little daunting to people, especially when they're across the world from where they come from, right?
I just usually do everything when I go back home.
Oh, okay, if you've managed to figure it out, perfect. But if you're like, I don't know what to do, and then you're just losing money, just talk to me and we'll figure it out. Regardless, so you've seen a car, you've seen a physio, and you managed it through those methods. Now, I would imagine that you found the physiotherapy perhaps more effective in this case because you kind of stuck with them more. What were they doing with you that you found to help you out?
When I was like in the height of it, I was seeing like a physiotherapist like 3 times a week.
Okay.
And I was doing like exercising or like walking, like posture and stuff like that.
Do you remember what the exercises were?
I remember a lot of cat-cow.
Yeah.
And like balance and like, cause a lot of the times they would make me like lay down and they'd be like, do you think you're straight? And I'm like, yeah. And they'd be like, no, one of your legs is like going farther than the other one. It's like exercise for that and like stretching and stuff like that.
So as a general rule of thumb, when you're dealing with scoliosis that isn't a surgical candidate, which I imagine that you're not a surgical candidate at this point, one of the first lines of conservative care for it is exercise, is strengthening the paraspinal muscles around that affected region. Now, I think you said that it was primarily in your low back, your lumbar region, right? Maybe a little bit going up into the lower upper back, but really the focus is on the low back. So the management for that is strengthening the back musculature, strengthening the spinal erectors and the core, everything that holds the lumbar spine steady. Which sounds like that's kind of what the physio was beginning at through kind of like the cat camel. Now granted, that's more of a mobility based exercise, which is good. You were also saying you're very stiff. Did they ever show you any kind of actual like strengthening exercise?
If I have to be honest, I don't remember.
That's okay. How long? This was at least 3, if not more years ago, right? Okay. All right. Fair.
It was mainly throughout middle school, and if I stayed in Italy, I would have finished high school last year. So it's been a while.
It's been a minute, okay.
Yeah.
But you have been self-managing, which like you've been doing okay. Skeletal maturity is reached, I think it's either 23 or 25 in women, I can't recall, but up until that point, it is prudent to manage scoliotic cases to ensure that the curve is not increasing or worsening, and managing it through those conservative care methods such as exercise, such as manual therapy. When was the last time you had an x-ray? I'm not saying we're going to do that today, but... No idea? That's
No idea.
that's okay. That's something to keep in our back pocket if what we do here doesn't really improve the stiffness and the pains you're feeling now. Then that would be something to explore. But right now you seem like you're doing okay. All right, so how has this started kind of affecting your day-to-day? Because I know, like you said, you're a musical theater kid, but like well, just tell me about that.
I just usually have like back pain all the time.
Okay.
It's just normal, like, but like it gets worse when I'm on my period. Like I can barely, like not barely stand, but like if I'm doing a dance class, I'll be like on the floor, and I'll be like, this hurts, but that's okay. And I usually just like put warm, what are they called? Warm bags?
Wow, no, I can't remember what it's called right now.
Yeah.
A hot water bottle, I think that's what it's called. I'm
it's
blanking
like,
right now. Yeah. You would know better than I would that during that time of the month you're going to be more sensitive to pain.
Yes.
Okay, so that's kind of open and shut. Unfortunately, there's not much that I can do from that perspective. Perhaps maybe a naturopath or your MD might be able to offer some insight. But as far as the mechanical component itself, referring to the musculoskeletal, absolutely there's things we can do. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do we've kind of done the physical, but we've kind of done the history, but we're going to do a physical exam. And then we're going to find out what ways would hopefully be effective for you. All right, sounds good? So Emily was commenting that she gets most of her discomforts in her lower back, her lumbar, as well as kind of the bottom aspect of her upper back. So just to start, I'm going to get you to give yourself a tight hug, please. All right. Slouch for me, a little bit worse posture, and I want you to rotate as far as you can that way. Any discomfort through the low back? Yeah, where are we feeling it?
Oh, in the low back? No, it's in the middle right now.
It's in the middle, kind of like here?
Towards the right.
Towards the right
yes,
side, or there. All right. And we are able to get to about 45, 50 degrees. All right, come back up for me, and I want you to rotate the other way, please. Okay, so we cannot get as far this way. Okay, we're able to get to maybe about 30 degrees and rotating to the right as compared to the left. Now remind me, do you know which direction your curve goes?
It goes like this.
So it goes like, this. So that's, it moves to the right.
Yes.
Is what you're saying, okay. We'll take a look at that later, but it's good to just keep that in mind now. Do you know if it's a C curve or an S curve?
Wait, it's C is like only on the bottom?
Yeah, so this is actually good for you guys too. C curve implies that the scoliosis will come down, curve one way, and then come back to center. S curves imply that scoliosis will come down, curve one way, overcompensate and curl back the other way, and then come back to center. So when somebody asks, hey, is it a C curve? It only curves once. If somebody asks, hey, is it an S curve? It actually curves twice.
I think it's a C curve, but I'm not sure.
That's okay. I'll do what I can to try to figure that out myself without imaging today. All right, but we noticed that asymmetry in the thoracic rotation for certain. I need you to stand up for me, and please try to bend down, touch your toes as far as you can. Does that provoke it? Okay, so she can get her actual wrists onto the ground. You guys can't see that, but do you get any discomfort in the low back as you do this?
Not really.
No? Okay, good. Come back up the other way, please. And I want you to lean backward now, okay? Any discomfort in the low back as you do that?
Yes.
Yes, where?
Like right here.
Okay, right kind of at the base of the sacrum there. Now, one other test that I've talked about on this channel beforehand with people who do have scoliosis is actually something called Adams test. I didn't make it up myself. I just happen to have the same name as the guy. But what that is that I wasn't looking for this the first time. I'm going to get you to one more time, slowly bend forward to touch your toes. And while she does that, I'm going to be looking down the curve of her spine. If scoliosis is present, we should see asymmetry in the sides. But let's go ahead with that. So Adams test, I'm going to get you to bend forward there really slowly. And we do have a teeny bit of rib humping on the left side, which could suggest something coming up into the T-spine. Come back up for me and stop right there. Yeah, a little bit towards the left. Come back up for me. Good, good. Okay. Relax the foot.
You want to
Sure, actually, that would help me out there. Just relax the foot right there. There we go. And you can drop that. This is okay here for now. Nice. And yep, lift up. Thank you. Relax the foot. Good. Nice. Relax. Drop, drop. Good. Push this leg up into me. Into the hand. Yep. Go, go, go as hard as you can. Nice. Go, go, go as hard as you can. Good. Lift the toe up as hard as you can. Lift the toe up as hard as you can. Good. Once again, we're dealing with scoliosis that's arising in the lumbar spine. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the classic gold standard low back orthopedics exam of the straight leg raise. So you mentioned, that you have a what you believe is a C curve to the right side.
I think so.
Yes, you think so. That's okay. We'll go ahead and we'll palpate through, see if we can feel it ourselves afterwards. But let's start with the left side then, okay? I'm going to bring this leg straight up as high as it goes. And we are able to get to 90 degrees, which is really good because that's kind of the normal range for people. Are you feeling any kind of pain in the low back with this? No? All right, slowly lower the leg down yourself. Any discomfort with that?
No.
No? All right, now we're going to do with the right side. Bring that all the way up. So we can actually get a little bit further on the right side than we can the left. Any low back discomfort with that?
No.
No? All right, bring the leg back down. Good, good. All right, so next up, we're going to do a hip range of motion. We're going to bring this up all the way. Is that okay? Because you mentioned you have some hip tightness too.
Yeah.
All right. But that's okay for now.
Yeah, it's
okay?
fine.
I'm going to bring this back up. Let's take a look at internal rotation. That's all fine.
Yeah.
She said not fine sounding.
No, like it's fine, but like it's just uncomfortable.
Where?
Here.
Kind of in the front groin region almost, okay? I'm going to drop this and open the hip up this way. I'm going to push right through. That's what's going on.
It's just uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable where? On the back?
Still
or
here.
Still in that kind of the front. All right, so we're getting some tension or some pain kind of in the adductor region of the hamstrings. Now, I'm only asking this question because you're a dancer. Are you able to do the splits? Have you done the splits before?
If I'm really warm, I can do it on the right, but not on the left or middle splits.
Okay, so me being kind of not really a dancer, I'm not quite sure what you mean by on the right versus the left.
With my right in front, I can go like almost all the way down.
Right leg in front versus left leg in front.
Left leg in front, I have this much to the floor.
All right, so you're close, but not quite there. It's interesting.
And middle splits don't have.
Well, I wouldn't expect you to be able to if you have that kind of level of tension in the adductors, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring this up. How are things on this side?
It's like the same.
Same, okay. Let's try that internal rotation. I feel like you got a little bit more on this side as compared to the other. Does it feel more tolerable or less? Or
it's like it's fine.
Okay, good.
Oh.
I'm glad the mic was there. Free hip hop for you. All right, so how do you feel with that? That's okay?
It feels better than the left.
Perfect, okay. So clearly her right hip is more able to, no pun intended, adjust itself to whatever stresses are going through as compared to the left. That could explain why she's more mobile on that. Now, a cool phenomenon with the body is anytime you have an area of compromise in one location, in this case it would be the low back, the lumbar spine, you are going to get increased mobility of the areas above and below to compensate for that. So in this case, we would be discussing the upper back, the thoracic spine, as well as the hip joint, because those are the areas immediately above and immediately below the lumbar spine. And it looks like that right hip is more mobile than the left, as it is able to self-adjust itself to any kind of stressor. There. Does your hip pop regularly? Is that the first time that's happened?
I can pop them.
Okay.
But like, it won't pop just cause.
Yeah, okay, got it. But that's an example of compensation then in that case. Next up, I will get you to lay face down. All right, my hands are going to go on your back now, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, so you're saying that most of your, low back, right, it's the left side that's stiffer, but the right side seems a little bit more hypermobile, even though we're getting that right-sided curve, according to you. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right. So, hands on low back. Isn't that interesting? The SI joint on the right side, it feels less... maybe not, actually. I'm kind of conflicted. Which side is feeling less bouncy to you?
Like less?
Less
the right.
The right side?
I think.
Yeah.
I think so.
No, honestly, that's what I'm feeling too. And now, what we're testing here is we're not testing your SI joints proper. We are looking at your SI joint. So, quick anatomy lesson for you, just in case you're unaware. Spine, most people kind of know that one, okay? Bottom of our spine is our sacrum. It's like this triangular looking bone. And just off, the sacrum connects into the ilium, which is our hip bone proper, to form the sacroiliac joint. Now you feel actually quite locked up and stiff in the sacroiliac joint, which would indicate that you would need increased mobility throughout the hip joint proper, all right? So sacroiliac, hip, two separate joints there, okay? A lot of people think this is the hip. That's not the case, so. Now working through the lumbar. We got quite a bit of stiffness up right in that one spot. That gets a little bit better as we go higher. Not by much though. Freebie. Okay, so I would be very interested if you can somehow obtain records of what your curve percentage is, because to me, if there is a scoliosis there, it's very, very mild.
Yeah.
Okay. Like usually I'm pretty good at being able to feel anywhere between 15 to 20 degrees or more in spines, but this feels like it could maybe be 10, and to be perfectly frank with you, I could be making that up. Okay, like I love being transparent. Are you okay if I kind of pull this down to right here?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Perfect. And once again, yeah, that would be a very mild curve, if at all, but I believe you when you say that you have scoliosis. I don't think you can lie.
Maybe got better.
It could be, right? So one thing to keep in mind is that when you were first diagnosed, you were nowhere close to skeletal maturity. And granted, you still do have a little bit of a ways to go, but you have been very active. You have been doing the things you're supposed to do. So sometimes these curves do decrease as time goes on. If it's a functional scoliosis, which suggests that it's due to some sort of activity you're doing, absolutely correctable, versus an anatomical one where your vertebrae are literally different shapes from each other, which causes a compensatory rotation and curving, right? But that's a good thing. That's a good thing, okay? All right, so I will get you to take a big breath in for me, and all the way out, okay? All the way out. Good. All right, one more in, and all the way out, all the way out. That is quite tight. One more in, all the way out. So this region of our spine is referred to as the TL junction, the thoracolumbar junction, where our upper back becomes our lower back. It absorbs a lot of shearing forces. So you, as a dancer, somebody who's probably doing a lot of strange, awkward movements to look good on stage, right? You would get a lot of extra shearing forces through this region because our upper back is primarily responsible for rotation, and our lower is primarily responsible for forward and backward bending. So anything that's kind of awkward and oblique, gonna stiffen up right here. Do you get a lot of tension in the spot?
Not. I don't think so.
Really? That surprises me because we can't get any movement in through here whatsoever.
I just my whole back is just stiff. Like
You're probably used to it at this point.
Yeah, it's just normal to me. I don't think I've ever been mobile.
All right, we're gonna get you on your side next. So as we found through palpation, it was very much the right SI joint that's very restricted on her side. Once again, spine, sacrum, ilium, SI joint right there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually try to get some movement in there. You hold your elbow just like so. We're going to bring this leg up and relax the hip there. Scooch the hips towards me, closer. Thank you. Good. And now please just relax the hip into the table as best you can. Okay, you comfortable like that? As comfortable as you can be? Perfect. So from here, take a breath in, all the way out, and roll towards me, sink into table.
Oh.
That went way better than your upper back.
That was crazy.
You okay?
Yeah.
Did your chiro in Italy ever do that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I just remember my neck being cracked, and I was like, whoa, I just thought you decapitated me.
I'm confused as to why they'd be doing your neck for low back stuff. But anyways.
No, it was my whole body.
Well, I'm glad we were able to get that one. Let's get you on the other side, okay? I'm going to bring this leg up. Good. And I'm actually going to torque you out a little bit more. So give me this arm. I'm going to pull. Good. And hold just like so. There you are. Bring your hips towards me. Thank you. And then once again, relax this hip. Now, to you guys, this is going to look like a very similar adjustment. To you, it's going to feel like a very similar adjustment. But on that right side, we were going for that SI joint. On this side, what we're actually trying to do is target the lumbar spine itself to almost try to pull it back in this direction, okay? We're not actually shifting bones, but we are moving joints in such a way that should hopefully provide the most mobility, given any potential compromised anatomy in there with the curve. So, that said, I'm going to get you to relax this hip once again. I'm going to find that spine. Breathe in, all the way out. Good, 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 good. There we go. Okay. You have a great reaction. I love that. Good, good. Okay. What did you think of those?
That was nice.
I'm glad you think so. All right, so as Emily has pointed out, she does have a C curve that goes to the right side of her low back. Now, in scoliosis management, it's typically good form to try to strengthen the muscles on the convex side. Okay, so if we have a C curve here, her right side will be convex. We want to try to strengthen, or quote unquote tighten, the muscles here to kind of wrench this back into straightness. And on the left side, or the concave side, it is good form to try to stretch these ones out and loosen them up with things such as massage. Because if you can imagine, C curve, everything here is going to be squeezed together or tightened or constantly contracted. So we would want to try to relax those guys. So I am going to be doing the usual instruments such as soft tissue therapy today, alongside, just using my hands on both sides, all right, because she's going to get discomfort and stiffness on both sides. But it is more important that we do a little bit of focusing on the left side, as that, at least anatomically, makes more sense to me. So let's get started with this now. Once again, we are sorry if these tools are a little bit cold. All right, you are the patient in after a long cold night. So these tools, the channel, very familiar with them. They are smart tools, also known as instrument-assisted soft tissue therapy, or gua sha. I love these guys because they really work on the fascial components, which is a connective-like tissue that sits on top of our muscles, kind of like saran wrap. And its function is to make sure things move without generating friction. All right, so if you do have adhesions within the fascia, you will develop persistent stiffness, persistent pains, and potential reaggravation of injury. I'm going to put an asterisk there. You won't necessarily will, but at least you're predisposed to do it, excuse me. Don't want to spread any more misinformation on the internet. It's already plentiful with it. So, yeah, all right. Now, at this point, I usually like to ask the patient a kind of a question about themselves, so if they could share a little bit. Now, you strike me, Emily, as somebody who's led a pretty interesting life. You moved over to Canada. You moved across the pond at age 17 from Italy to pursue a theater degree at Sheridan, which is maybe like 10, 15 minutes from where we are right now. So do you want to kind of enlighten us as to why you went that way, or what your experience has been so far?
So I lived in Italy my whole life, and I grew up in a very, very small town in the north. And I never actually liked it there. Oh. Everybody's like, oh my god, you're from Italy, that's so exciting. I'm like, no.
It's only exciting to us because it's foreign to us,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. If I talk to someone that grew up in Oakville, they'd be like, oh my god, I hate it here. I'm like, no, it's pretty cool here, actually.
It's funny because I don't really like being in Oakville. There's not much to do as a young adult.
Not really, actually. It was fun last year because it was like, oh my god, new place. But also now I'm like, it's kind of boring. But whatever. So in Italy, it's different from Canada and the US. When you have to go into high school, you have to choose a path when you're 13, which is crazy because you're basically deciding your whole life.
Hey, it's crazy doing that at 18 here. I can't imagine doing it at 13 over there.
Exactly. So after middle school, you have to choose a path. So I chose linguistics because I always loved languages, and so I decided to go into that, and I studied Spanish, German, and English.
Are you trilingual?
Yes.
Spanish, German, and
no, I speak Italian, Spanish, and English.
Okay, all right, got it.
Yeah.
Very talented. All right.
But I'm losing my Spanish because I never get to speak it.
Hey.
But my high school was pretty it was very overwhelming and toxic, as all high school are in Europe. Not gonna lie.
I love how you say high school too.
High school.
it makes me think you're gonna be an optometrist. I went to high school. Okay.
But there's this you can be an exchange student in your 4th year of high school. And I wanted to leave Italy since my 1st year of high school.
Really?
I was trying to leave my 2nd year. I was trying to go to New Zealand. Really bad. But then while I was in what would be your grade 9, COVID happened.
Oh no.
And so everything locked down. And so I wasn't gonna leave because my parents didn't want me. I really wanted to go to the US. But my parents wouldn't.
No comment.
Yeah, they didn't want me to go because they handled like the pandemic really badly. But I also won a thing that I was supposed to go to Argentina. But then I would have to pay the, like, they were like, oh, you want like a thing that will let you like pay less, but then I had to pay the whole thing. And so my mom was like, if you're going somewhere that you like if we're paying whole price.
Of course.
So then I was supposed to go to Nova Scotia.
Okay.
But then it was like middle of grade 10, I think. No, 11. Wait. Whatever.
Middle of high school. High school.
So I had everything ready to go to Nova Scotia the year after, and I planned to do a whole year because you can do a half a year, 3 months, or a whole year. And I was like, there's no point in doing a half a year. I want to do a whole year. But then Nova Scotia closed their borders, and so I was like, well, what do I do now? Because my agency was like, you either don't go, which I was like, absolutely not. I'm not staying here. You either wait and see if they open their borders for January, for the second semester, but I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Or you give up. Or change destination. And I was like, I'm changing. So then I was supposed to go to Langley in BC.
Okay.
And I had to choose a school. And I don't know what happened there, but I chose the wrong school.
Alright.
So then I went to Langley. And I go to the school and it's like a STEM high school. I'm like, no, I want to do theater, guys.
Science? No!
I hate science. And so I was like, no.
Yeah, science sucks.
Yeah.
Says the STEM major.
Exactly. So then I was like, oh wait, like there's a really close, really good high, like arts high school in Langley. So I just transferred, which was crazy because I transferred 3 days into the school's like year.
Yeah.
Like my life was crazy in Canada. But I was able to transfer even though they were like, you're not gonna be able to, and I was like, watch me. Multiple people said that I was not gonna be able to do my exchange year, and I was in Canada at 17. So then I did my grade 12 in Langley, BC. I did theater, like I was in the theater program there. I was in a directing and script writing class, and I won like a provincial contest for my a play that I wrote in high school. And then I was like, I'm not going back to Italy to finish my diploma there. Why would I do that, right?
Of course.
Like, I want to do musical theater. Musical theater is not big in Italy, so why would I go back?
What's the goal? Like the end goal? Do you have an idea of what you want to do yet, or?
Well, I would love to live in New York, just because
the musical theater dream.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Pretty lame.
I don't think that's lame. I do think it's difficult, but I don't think it's lame.
But I would love to stay in Toronto. I'm tired of Oakville. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, so you finally joined the crew of Oakville.
Yes.
Kind of terrible.
Well, there's nothing to do.
Didn't take that long. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
But I was technically supposed to go back to Italy because I technically had 1 more year of high school, but I never went back, and I just got my diploma here. And then moved from BC to Ontario, which was traumatizing.
Why? No more mountains?
Well, I love BC. BC is so, like, it's so pretty. And I had, like, I used to date someone there. And so I would always go back.
That's a commute.
Yeah. But also, like, I had all my friends that I had made in my exchange year there. And then I did not want to move to Ontario.
Okay.
And also,
sorry
like,
about that.
Like, it was the first time that I was actually alone.
Okay.
Because I had a host family in BC. But then here, I was, like, actually alone. And then now I'm here. Do
you still feel alone here?
Yes.
How long have you been here for?
This is I'm finishing my second year.
Okay.
At Sheridan. I still have 2 to go.
I hope you've made some connections and at least a few friends. Like,
I do have friends. It's just, like, it was my birthday 2 days ago, and I was like, I just want to be with my family. I don't want to be here.
That's
I don't want to,
understandable.
I was in, like, on my birthday, I was in rehearsal till 9 p.m. at school. And I was like, I don't want to be here. I want to be with my family.
You actually remind me very much of a friend of mine who Also, like I met at Cairo school. Her name was Lauren. I don't know if she still watches these, but hi, Lauren. And she was from the East Coast. Okay, and you know, adapting can be difficult when you kind of move away from your family and your friends and your loved ones, and like a lot of people will be like, oh, it's so exciting, move across the world, but like it comes with these challenges, these social challenges especially, that not everybody's aware of. Okay, and they can be challenging, they can be difficult, but the best thing you can do in that case is to lean or talk to someone who you kind of trust in that manner, right? So I mean, these friends you made, I hope they're good people. You know, you can lean on any of them there. Perhaps you can call your family, obviously, and I know that's not nowhere close to the same, but it's not forever too, right? Like, you're here to get a job done at the end of the day, get the degree, and then if you want to go back, you can. All right, you're not going to not see them again. Nobody's dying.
No, okay? I mean, I'm going back this summer. So
Good. Even better. But still, you know, that takes guts to move across an ocean at age 17 and still be here at age 20. So, well done to you. Okay.
Thank you.
One thing worth noting is that the glutes muscles themselves are the stabilizers of the pelvis. Okay, so primarily what I work on here is the piriformis, which is I'm actually just going to tilt the camera a little bit here, which connects from the sacrum down into the greater trochanter region over here, as well as the glute medius, which exists kind of like as a not really a cone, but almost like a fin-shaped muscle, once again, down into the greater trochanter. So we are more tender on the right side as compared to the left, so it's prudent to work this region a little bit. So I like to either use a thumb or a very, very pointy, can't see it, very pointy elbow there. So we'll start with a thumb. I'm going to dig in on the piriformis. You're kind of moving away from me right there, right? All right, so maybe not as hard, but I'm going to use a thumb in right there, and you can't see this on the screen, but I am moving her leg down here. You know what, actually, if I can rotate this further, y'all can see exactly what I'm doing. Rotate. I am pinning the piriformis and then moving the leg like so. This is a little something called MRT, all right? So what we're doing here is we are shortening the piriformis by rotating our hip externally. We are taking a pin and we are rotating outward like so. This is my preferred method of massage because it is myofascial release technique. Once again, huge fan of that fascia. And this is a way to work both it and the muscle. Now, is that tolerable? Is that uncomfortable? You okay down there?
It's fine. Like, it hurts a little bit.
Okay.
It's like bearable.
But it's not unbearable.
No, it's
Got it. Okay. Now let's switch it up. Move into an elbow. If at any point this is too painful, you let me know, okay?
Okay.
That spot's pretty bad, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So aside from dancing, what other kind of workout routines do you do activity-wise? Because that should be supplemented with some form of training. If anything.
There's not a lot of time to do anything
Shoot. Yeah,
outside of school. because we're either in school or we're in rehearsal or doing homework.
One thing worth noting to people who are watching, Sheridan, that's the school you're at, right?
Yeah.
Has like a top-notch theater program. Like it's a pretty big deal. As I understand, like some people might hear, oh, theater school, how hard is that? No, like this is probably the third kid that I've met from there, and very, very intense program.
Yes.
So don't be fooled by that. She's dead serious. By there's not much time left at the end of the day.
Well, we have something like 18 courses.
Jeez. And now we're getting a little bit higher up into the glute med region. That's pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, rotate the camera back. Good. Nice. All right. And massage gun. Is that too much?
It's okay.
I'll back off just a bit, okay?
Yeah.
Emily, what did you think of all of that?
It was nice. It hurt a little bit, but
A little bit of
I
pain
feel
with
better.
it. Okay, good. So which part did you find uncomfortable? Did you find was painful?
glutes.
The glute work specifically, yeah, okay. So as we mentioned, the glutes are a very important muscle when it comes to stabilizing the pelvis. Now, we did find, just kind of through feeling through the SI joints there, that the right SI is very, very tight. And as a result, the right glutes, the piriformis, the glute max, the glute med, the muscles that extend over that SI joint, all very, very tight. Now, we were able to actually get through the muscle through the adjustment initially, but adjusting works joint structures. We still need to work the muscles around it if we want to be comprehensive. So what does that mean? How do you work a muscle? Well, you do it through massage, right? So sorry if you're a little tender, but we got a job to do. That's kind of, I realize, or I feel that I became a much more effective practitioner when I, quote unquote, stopped caring about hurting my patients on the table. Of course, I'm not going to intentionally hurt anybody ever, but like the soreness you're feeling, totally normal and part of the process, okay? Any other thoughts? How else did you find it?
I just feel more mobile now.
Good.
Like, it's like when we have a really good ballet class, I'm like, oh, I could go into the splits right now.
Yeah, because
I'm
you're
like,
all loosened up, right? Okay.
That's how my back feels right now.
I'm very happy to hear that. So again, a little tough to know exactly the frequency you should be coming in, given we've got some factors to consider. Like, we don't know how progressed or unprogressed, that's not a word, but hopefully unprogressed, the curve has become. You're also very active, which is actually a good thing for this kind of condition, so you're able to self-manage it. You went 3 years without seeing a physio or a chiro, pretty much, right? That's very good, but obviously lately it's been tightening up. That could be due to stress, that could be due to increased activity, whatever, okay? You're doing the right stuff for managing this yourself. Admittedly, you're better than probably 90% of other people who would have a similar condition and aren't as active in the dance community, because dance is phenomenal because you're strengthening yourself and increasing mobility at the same time. All right, phenomenal in that way. Occasionally, you might need a little bit of a tune-up. That's what I can do. That's what a massage therapist can do. That's what a physiotherapist can do. Any kind of manual practitioner should be able to provide that for you, okay? Do you have any other questions from today? Any other concerns? Anything you want to talk about? That's not a you have to ask something. That's just I want to make sure that you have the floor should you have any concerns or questions.
Like, how do I keep, like, my back mobile? Like,
how
I feel right now.
That's how you feel right now. So, I mean, that's unfortunately the reality is how you feel right now. You're only going to get that by coming to see me, okay? But there are, like I mentioned, self-management tools. You're already dancing, which, believe it or not, you might feel stiff and sore afterwards, but it's helping you, okay? There are other methods that you can work to try to improve your mobility to, things like yoga, okay? Things like swimming, things like cycling, especially for the hip and the low back. I think yoga might be the best, sorry, I thought I heard something here. Yoga might be the best bet for you in that case, which should help to loosen things further as well. But in my opinion, once again, you're already doing the right stuff. Occasionally, you're just going to need somebody else to get in there and move things, though. And that's just reality, right? Maybe you can get a friend to press an elbow in, but I don't think it's going to be as effective.
Oh, I've had a friend actually roll my back.
Interesting.
And it hurt.
Roll like the tools that I was using?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like more like DIY.
A little bit more amateur.
Like Amazon.
Okay.
But it hurt, but then I felt better.
Yeah, that's a trend, right? You got to work the tissues a little bit with soreness, and then things will feel better. But yoga would be my advice. Incorporate that into your routine. If you'd like to, you could explore the possibility of resistance exercise, okay? Actual proper strengthening of muscles versus the hybrid kind of dance and yoga that it offers. Those could be methods to consider. Okay? Any other questions or anything else you want to talk about? No? All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in then today, Emily. Very much appreciated.
It was nice meeting you.
Good to meet you too.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you, Emily.